Wolves, wizards, vampires, and werewolves. Just a few of the mythical beings you'll find in Harry Potter and Twilight. These fantasy stories are chock full of exciting characters and moments, of which we have noticed some similarities. Now that's not to say that these two series are the same, but there are definitely some aspects that look familiar across both franchises. And not just the fact that Robert Pattinson plays both sides. So to all the Twilighters and Potterheads, join together as we dive in to see what we can find in these worlds of wizards and vampires. You can't have a vampire story without blood. In Twilight, it's what gives the vampires strength, both mentally and physically. This actually is also an occurrence in Harry Potter. In the Sorcerer's Stone, a weakened Voldemort drinks unicorn blood to keep himself alive. Because if anyone was going to be a blood-sucking unicorn killer, it was of course going to be Voldemort. Now a fight between Voldemort and the Cullens is something I would like to see.
We will not fight today.
They say the future is unpredictable, but that's not the case for certain Harry Potter and Twilight characters. Alice from Twilight can get visions of the future, which is an extremely useful power. I'm sure you all remember the now infamous fight scene that never was, where Alice showed Arrow his grim future. Harry Potter has Professor Trelawney, who was able to predict the future. She's the one who predicted the prophecy about Voldemort and Harry. Both these characters are very important in influencing the story.
Have I said something?
Shapeshifting is an ability we see characters utilize in both worlds. In Twilight, members of the Yule Pack, such as Jacob Black, can shapeshift into wolves at will. They take this form for protection and to fight their enemies. In Harry Potter, there are multiple different kinds of shapeshifters. Animagi shapeshifters can transform into an animal at will. For example, Sirius Black can transform into a dog, Professor McGonagall a cat, and Peter Pettigrew a rat. There are also werewolves, such as Professor Lupin, but his transformation is out of his control, and occurs only during a full moon. Turns out, wizards and vampires are both very athletic beings who love sports. For the wizarding world, it's the unique game of Quidditch, which sees players flying around on broomsticks. For vampires, it's baseball. But it's not your average game, as vampires are so strong that they can only play during thunderstorms that will mask the sound of them hitting the ball. These are both very intense sports that seem very fun to play.
Now I want a nice clean game.
In worlds filled with magical creatures and beings, it's kind of funny that in both series, there is a high fascination with humans, and their involvement in the mythical world. In Harry Potter, Muggle-born wizards and witches, or Mudbloods as some people call them, are an uncommon type of wizard, and there's debate as to whether they are deserving of magic. In Twilight, there is the extremely rare hybrid, a child born from a human and a vampire. Examples include Hermione, who is a Muggle-born, and Renesmee, the daughter of Edward and Bella, who is a hybrid.
Half mortal, half immortal.
A wise old man with extensive knowledge is pivotal for any fantasy series, and these two are no exception. Dumbledore and Billy Black give the characters, and the audience, all the exposition they need. Billy Black is the wise, spiritual leader that tells Bella all about the Wolf Tribe's past. Dumbledore gives Harry the information he needs by letting him directly view his memories. In both cases, our heroes acquire vital information through these wise old men.
What happened down in the dungeons between you and Professor Quirrell is a complete secret.
Regular humans don't get to have any of the fun in these franchises, as people are kept in the dark about the whimsical worlds around them. The wizarding world of Harry Potter has rules and laws in place to keep their secret from getting out, with the Ministry of Magic holding trials for any wizard or witch that breaks these laws. This is similar to the Volturi of Twilight, who are the governing vampire force meant to maintain balance and secrecy from the human world. Maybe one day humans will be allowed to experience these worlds. For being the heroes of the story, Harry and Bella sure do cause a lot of trouble. We've seen Harry time and time again break the rules, create chaos, and ignore authority. Whether it's opening the Chamber of Secrets or using magic outside of school. Bella is breaking the rules just by being with a vampire, who aren't allowed to reveal their true selves to humans. Of course, both these characters only have good intentions and do what they do in the name of good.
I solemnly swear that I'm up to no good.
Dumbledore's army and the Cullens working with the wolves are groups that were both put together in the name of protecting good against evil. They both train an army to best prepare them for battle against a big threat, focusing on specific skills and strategies that will help them the most. We see these two groups in action, putting their skills to the test, as they are both successful in defeating their enemies. A job well done all around.
Fantastic, Neville. Well done.
Voldemort and his loyal Death Eaters remind us a lot of Arrow and the Volturi. They are the antagonistic groups who have it out for our heroes, relentlessly hunting them down. We see Voldemort and Arrow perish during the big final showdown, even if Arrow's demise was just a vision of the future. Also, both these groups love their robes.
What do we do with you now?
Will there ever be a more highly debated love triangle than Edward, Jacob, and Bella? Burger King even had a campaign centered around this feud. Well, Harry Potter fans may have an argument that the love triangles in their series are even more compelling. In the Half-Blood Prince, we see a love struggle between Ron, Lavender, and Hermione. Ron and Hermione end up together in the end, but some fans still insist that it's Hermione and Harry that are the ones who should have ended up together. Perhaps these debates will truly never end.
I won't be going alone because, believe it or not, someone's asked me.
Academic settings serve as a background for a lot of these movies. Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry is where Harry meets Ron and Hermione, kicking off their journey together. And although Forks High School in Twilight isn't as magical, it is where Bella meets Edward, kicking off their journey together as well. Of course, no school setting would be complete without a school dance like the ones we see in both these series.
I want you. Always.
Bella and Harry are such a big part of their franchises that not even death can keep them down. They both bite the bullet towards the end of their stories, only to come back and continue to fight. As the antagonists know, it's extremely hard to get rid of these two.
Harry Potter is dead.
Causing tons of trouble also puts our protagonist in a lot of danger. They always have a target on their back and find themselves in situations that are more than they can handle. Luckily for them, they have friends that are willing to fight for them and sacrifice themselves if they must. Harry sees multiple people sacrifice themselves for him, including Dumbledore and Snape. Bella, on the other hand, has people who once hated each other coming together just to protect her. In the future vision Alice has, we see multiple friends of Bella perish. Get yourself some friends like Harry and Bella have.
I have never met anyone more prone to life-threatening idiocy.
After defeating the big baddie and bringing peace to their people, Harry and Bella's journeys come to a very similar end, with both of them being married with children. They deserve these endings after everything they have been through, and as far as we're concerned, they live happily ever after. Now it's their children's turn to have an adventure. Who knows, maybe we'll get those stories one day. We love these two series, and it's fun to find similarities after all these years. As we continue to rewatch these movies, reread the books, and debate which one is better, we're sure that more connections will be spotted. Did you find any similarities between the wizarding world and the world of vampires? Let us know.